Today we're learning about the distributive property, which is something that we've already learned last year. So we're going to just review it and keep practicing more on this skill because you use this skill a lot in algebra. So to refresh your memory, the distributive property is when you have multiplication on the outside of parentheses. So I have some number or value sitting on the outside of my parentheses, and that number has to be distributed to everything inside my parentheses. Give me a thumbs up if you remember this a little bit, even just a tiny bit. Tiny bit. Okay, good. So I'm going to now multiply. Remember, parentheses mean multiply. So 3 times n is 3n, good. And 3 times 2 is 6, and I'm just going to keep the sign because they're both positive, so it'll stay positive. Nope, that's it. Because now we're talking about adding, and I cannot combine a variable with just a number. So the 3n and the 6 are different terms, and they cannot be combined. So your final answer is just 3n plus 6. That's good. So I'm going to pause, and you copy this down, Brayden, and then we'll be back in a second with some more examples from page 100. Hold on, cover your face. Okay, so on page 100, number 3, it says use the distributive property to write each expression as an equivalent expression, then evaluate it. So I actually want to show you 2 ways to solve number 3. Because we have all numbers this time and no variables, we can use order of operations to solve this, or we can use the distributive property and we'll get the same answer. So order of operations says we do what first? Hold on. Parentheses first. So what is 7 plus 8? 15. And then bring down the 5 because we haven't used it yet. Okay, high schoolers, time for breakfast break. So then I do my 5 times 15. Anybody know what 5 times 15 is?
45.
No.
75.
5 times 15 is 75. Okay. So that's our first answer. Let's see what we get when we use the distributive property. So I'm going to solve the problem again using the distributive property. So 5 times 7 and then 5 times 8. What is 5 times 7?
35.
35. And what is 5 times 8?
45.
40. 40. Okay. And now, since I have both numbers, they could be added together. What is 35 plus 40? 75. Did we get the same answer?
Yes.
Yes, we did. But that only works when you have all numbers. If we have a variable, then you just straight up have to do distributive property. Okay? Now, for the rest of our examples, we are just going to do distributive property. I just wanted to show you that we'll get the same answer if we use order of operations. So, number 4, I always draw my lines, guys, always, and I am still 29 years old, so, draw the lines, because if you don't draw the lines, you're going to forget to multiply one. Stop laughing. Okay, 2 times 9 is 18, and 2 times 1 is
2 times 1
2.
2.
2 times 1 is 2. And what is 18 plus 2? 20. And the last one, okay, you'll notice on number 5 that our number on the outside of the parentheses is on the back side of the parentheses. You still do the same distributive properties. So I'm going to draw my lines. And I'm actually going to do the 6 times 2 first, because it's first. So what is 6 times 2? 12. And then 6 times 4? 24. And what's 12 plus 24?
36.
Yes. Ooh, Jeremiah, you're so on the ball. 36 is correct. All right. So on this section now we have variables. When we multiply using variables, we usually can't combine down to one final answer. We're going to have probably two separate answers. So let's start. First thing I'm going to do is what?
Do 4 times 4 and x together.
Okay, I'm going to draw my lines. I want you drawing your lines on your paper too. 4 times x is?
4x.
4x. And 4 times 3?
12.
12. And they're both positive, so it stays positive. And that's my answer. I cannot combine 4x and 12. Next one, again, we got that number on the back side, but I'm still going to draw my lines and multiply by each thing on the inside. So 3 times n, 3 times n, 3n.
Oh my gosh.
And 3 times 2, 6. They're both positive, so it's positive.
I was just saying it wrong.
I know you were.
It's because the camera's on.
It's the n, yeah. You got stage fright. Okay, and number 8, what am I going to do first?
You do 8 and y.
No, what do I do
Oh,
first?
you do the line.
I draw my lines. Thank you. 8 times y?
8 times y. And since it's 8 times -2, it will be -16.
That's right. Good. So this time I have a negative, so my answer is going to be negative. Excellent job. And last one. Now this time we have to be extra careful because we have a negative on the outside of our parentheses. So when we multiply, it's going to change all our signs on the inside of the parentheses. So negative 6 times x equals what?
Negative 6x.
That's right. And negative 6 times negative 5.
Positive.
Yes. Excellent computation, Jeremiah. Okay. Copy these down and we'll be right back. Okay, this last one is not in your book, but I want you to see a problem like this so you can understand what's happening when we use a distributive property. This problem has a number on the outside of the parentheses, but how many things are inside the parentheses?
4.
4 different things inside. Guess what? We still have to distribute that 3 onto everything inside the parentheses. So draw the lines and multiply with me, okay? What is 3 times x?
3x.
Yes.
Well, I'm on 4x.
And what is 3 times 4? 12, I heard. And then the next one, 3 times negative y.
Negative.
You got it. And the last one, 3 times negative 2. Negative 6. Okay, Holden, you're on a brain break as well. Now, since we had so many things to multiply in this one, I notice that I have a couple of like terms. I have some numbers, and I need to put those numbers together for my final answer. So what I'm going to do is write the variables first in ABC order. So I'm just going to bring down the 3x and the minus 3y. And then I'm going to combine my 12 minus 6. What is 12 minus 6? 6. And it's a positive because the 12 is bigger and it's positive. So that becomes my final answer for this long distributive property problem. All right. Email me if you have any questions, Braden, and we'll see you next time.